The GM Notes add-on has been around for quite a while, and it's a great way to help organize your campaign notes and keep your DM secrets away from your players. I've been using it a while and I do like it, but there's a new kid on the block that I think might take its place. Stick around and I'll tell you about that new add-on that you may want for yourself. What's up, gamers? I'm Josh and this is Copper Dragon Games. On this channel we talk about Dungeons & Dragons, DM tips, product reviews, virtual tabletop resources, you name it. Today I want to share with you a little bit about GM Notes, a pretty simple Foundry virtual tabletop add-on that lets you hide certain information from your players in your journal entries. But I also want to share with you a little bit about a relative newcomer to the scene called GM Secret Block. The two apps serve kind of the same purpose, but go about it in different ways. We're going to compare the two and I'll give you my opinion on which one I plan to use in the near future. So let's head on over to the computer. Alright, so we have two add-ons enabled here, both of which are used to hide some of your journal notes from your players. The first one is GM Notes, and I've been using this one for a fair amount of time. This add-on essentially gives you an extra version of every journal entry that you create, a version that players can't see, and it's a good tool to use to give your players access to your journal entries so that they can make notes directly in them while still keeping some of your hidden information separate. So I'll show you an example of what that looks like real quick. So this is an example player log from a fake session. This is editable just like normal, and up here in the corner we have a GM Notes tab. On the player side, players don't have that tab, so they can't actually access the GM Notes section. But the DM, or GM, can click that and it opens up a brand new window where you can write additional information that players can't see. I've been using this one for a little while and I do like it. There are a couple of drawbacks. One thing that I don't like is that I have to open a new window with it. Sometimes I think it would be super nice to have all of that information on the same screen. I'm also not a huge fan that when you move information over, it's kind of all or nothing. It would be super nice if I could highlight these and send just certain parts of it over, but unfortunately if you move your GM Notes to the description, the whole thing goes. It's not a deal breaker, it definitely hasn't kept me from using this, but it'd be nice to have a button, or to be able to keep this in the same window as the other. Maybe if it were split in the middle and I could just move back and forth between the two, that would be cool. But unfortunately there's not the ability to do that right now. A new add-on that I just noticed very recently is called GM Secret Block, and that add-on, I think, is going to address some of the issues that I have with GM Notes. I haven't actually used it in my games at this point, but I have found the time to tinker with it a little bit and see what it's capable of. So let's pull up GM Secret Block and I'll show you what I mean. So the top of this is essentially the same, exact same text as the other journal entry, but you can see down below there are a couple of multicolored blocks of text, and each of those has different levels of accessibility to players. As of right now, my player that this is assigned to is only assigned as an observer, so they can't actually edit anything and they can't see any of the secrets, either the GM secrets or the regular secrets. When you change the configuration settings, you give players a few more options. If I change that player to the owner, for example, then now that player is able to see the secrets. But they still don't have access to the GM secrets, which is what I want to make sure remains hidden. I'm not switching over to this immediately because there are a few ways that players can either see the information or accidentally delete even your GM secrets. On the Foundry add-on page, they actually go over those issues here in the caveats section. So a player can, wow, when I highlight that it makes it look almost impossible to read. A player can use Control A to select all the text, then remove the formatting, and then they'll be able to see everything. A player might accidentally delete text in a GM secret block using backspacing, and the player can view the source of the editor contents. So number 1 and number 3, that's not really, neither of those is really a big deal to me. I feel like each of those is the kind of thing that are kind of similar to, if I'm playing a game in person, do I trust my players enough to walk away from the table and leave my notes unattended while I go use the bathroom or something? If I can't trust my players enough to not go behind the DM screen and check out my notes while I'm indisposed, then why are we even playing together, right? Like, that's just not cool. So I feel like I can trust my players not to view the source code and pull up the editor contents. And I can tell my players ahead of time, like, don't select all and then remove formatting or you're going to see my notes, and that's not cool. And I feel like I can trust my players not to do that. Number 2 is what really worries me. If players can accidentally delete text in the GM block just by backspacing, yeah, that might be an issue. If they accidentally add text to a GM secret block, no big deal, I can fix that later. But if they delete stuff from my GM notes, that would be incredibly frustrating. So I really, really like the way this format looks. I love the way it's all on the same screen, so I can view it the same time in the same window. I love that there are multiple levels of secretness, so that depending on the permissions of the player, some players might have some of the secrets, some of the players might have no secrets, and there's still an option for me to maintain some content that's secret from all the players. It's just that little, I might accidentally delete your notes, Mr. DM, issue that I really hope they focus on fixing, because I really like this add-on. I think it has a lot of promise, and I hope I get to move over to it. So that's where I stand at this point. I will continue to use GM Notes for the foreseeable future, but GM Secret Block has just a few cool features that if they can fix the bugs, I will definitely switch over. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you hanging out with me till the end. If you like what you heard, learned something new, or just enjoyed hanging out, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button below, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss any future updates. If you like this video and you're interested in trying to catch all those little places where your players might get more information from you than they should in Foundry Virtual Tabletop, then check out this other video that I did a while back about how to make sure your players aren't picking up on your campaign secrets before you're ready to share them with them. I'll be back next time with more tips and tricks to make your game of Dungeons & Dragons the best it can be. See you then.